Salisbury. I studied abroad at the London Centre my junior year, fall and winter term, and I'm a theatre arts major. The focus wasn't necessarily on what we were learning, but how we were learning it. So the point was to go out and see theatre and do that in London. And the point was to go to art museums and do that in London, and it's figuring out how to live more independently than on a college campus, and figuring out how to travel on the weekends, and figuring out how to live in a city. I think that it was more life education rather than theoretical education. I was the only person who stayed over for the 2 terms, so it was kind of interesting to see the dynamics change between people. The first term was a lot more boisterous and loud, and they were kind of all over the place, and it was sort of like hanging out with a bunch of wild cards. And then the second term was a lot more chill and relaxed. So I interned at a theater company called Pentameter's Theater. They're really, really small. It's right above a pub. So they put on classic works and new works, but it's very small scale theater, which was interesting because they rehired a lot of the actors for I think I did 3 shows with them. They rehired a lot of the actors, so you kind of get to know everybody really well, and you know, because I was in the theater, I got to connect with and become friends with a lot of the actors who were there, because I spent most of my time with them. We had the month-long break in between the 2 terms, and I took that to travel, and I traveled with my roommate from here who was in Oxford, and then a friend of ours who was studying abroad in France, and we all got together and traveled. And then I came back to London, which sort of felt like home base at that point. I'd been there for 3 months. I just spent a month traveling and living out of a backpack, and so it was really, really interesting for me to feel like I was coming home, and I felt really comfortable in London. And it was sort of interesting to see that juxtaposition between the lot of you and me. I loved living in a city that was so rich in its history and so eager to share it with people.